Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live. We've got plenty to discuss tonight from William Saliba, Jack Wilshere, transfers, some other news dotted about Ian Wright having arguments with Alan Sugar. What is going on in the world? Joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve? Yeah.
How you doing, mate? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, mate. Even more excited than I was last week. Less days to the kickoff, and I just want to get something straight just before we go on. I don't know if you see the picture of the Tottenham players all splashed out against the floor, and there was this rumour going around about that Conte was giving them hard training, and they was just flattening out. That was they just said that Gabriel Jesus had come on at his debut and stuck a couple of balls in the back of the net, and they did, boom, boom,
boom, boom. There we go. Get it all in here. Bantering Tottenham fans as well. Love it. Love it. All right. And of course, we're joined by Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Yeah, good. Good, thanks. No jokes from me yet, but we'll see what happens.
Have you got the numbers there is till the start of the first game?
Oh.
No pressure. No pressure.
Is it the 5th of August?
Is it the 5th?
Yeah.
24, is it?
24. Who was the greatest Arsenal 24? Come on. Who you got?
Almunia. Almunia was 24, I think.
Oh, God, we got to think better than that. We got to think better than that. I can't deal with that guy. Nice fella. Average goalkeeper.
Vito Manone, maybe. Might have been 24 as well.
Come on, Jonathan. Yeah. How you doing, Jonathan? Good to see you in there. Good to see you, Stephen. Stephen, give us the number 1 24 that's played for Arsenal in our countdown to the season. All right. So let's get underway.
We'll take a Google.
Yeah, I don't care if you're going to Google it. It's only I'm going to Google it myself while someone else is talking. So let's get it before me. All right, let's get to it. Mikel Arteta, Edu Gaspar, Pierre Mertesacker, Adam Birchall, Julian Gray, and now Jack Wilshere are a part of the Arsenal youth development, Arsenal coaching staff. Yes, Jack Wilshere is now back as under 18 Arsenal's head coach, and I'm excited to see what will happen with that. First and foremost, Steve. How important is it? I've just reeled off a load of names that, from top to bottom, really have been a part of Arsenal. How important is that to have that in and around the club?
It's massively important, and I'm so glad for Jack. First of all, I mean, he'll be the first to say that, you know, a player with his ability should have had a much more successful career. I think he'll be the first person to say that. And I think it's fantastic now that Arsenal have given him the chance to, you know, go on and get more honours, but this time as a coach. But I think it is just so, like you've already said there, it's just so important for someone to come in who knows the club, who's been there, who's done it, who's not only been an Arsenal player, because we've had Arsenal players there before, but also an Arsenal fan, an Arsenal supporter, someone who used to go out on that pitch and, you know, used to die for the club. You know, if blood wasn't red, he would be bleeding red anyway. That was Jack Wilshere. I did have the hint of sadness when it come out that retired, because it's, you know, it was way too early. Should have won more than what he did for Arsenal with, you know, two FA Cups, and he should have won more England caps. So I've got that into sadness. But when I heard that, you know, he was coming into Arsenal and he was going to teach our kids, you know, I thought for Jack, I thought, what a fantastic, you know, chance for him to sort of, you know, win more stuff with Arsenal, if you like, and who knows where it could take him from there. It might take him into being the Arsenal manager one day. And, you know, we've looked back in the past, and we do like to, you know, bring people in from the club, and I think that's a mark of success. Hopefully we're going to have that with the manager, and hopefully the same with Jack, and I'm just so pleased for him. Yeah, I'm over the moon, mate. I can't wait to follow his career just to see. I mean, I'm not someone who's really makes a a beeline to see how the under-18s have done in the past. I've had a fleeting look from above type of thing, but I'm certainly going to take a much bigger interest now knowing that Jack's in charge. So yeah, please for Jack, just please of Jack, and I think it's great for the club.
Yeah, Jerome, for you, is it important that Arsenal maintain having players? Look, I reeled off Julian Gray. I used to like Julian Gray as a good player that was coming for the youth ranks, skillful player, ended up at Crystal Palace, still had a very good career, didn't play much for Arsenal. Adam Birchall, I think he only had one game, but again, he was a player who was very highly regarded when he was just coming through. So these players haven't necessarily played for the first team, but they've come through the ranks. What could that add to players that are coming through as well now?
Yeah, I mean, to have their coach as like a prime example of someone that's been through the system and that's made it to the first team. Not only that's made it to the first team, but he was playing for England. Obviously, the injuries curtailed his career, but I mean, if you were to build a coach for an under-18 of Arsenal, what you'd probably want someone that has been there and done it, which he has. He obviously loves the club. He was a very good footballer as well. Played with some incredible players, played under Wenger. Obviously knows Arteta as well. So it's sort of some good continuity there. And you hear him on the radio as well, Wilshere. I think he sort of knows what he's talking about, and it's a big show of confidence to someone that's as young as he is and is going to be partly responsible for the development of players that are going to be within maybe 1 or 2 years knocking on the first team door. So he's done very well to get it. I hope it's not. I don't think it is a case of just he's been at the club, so let's give him the job. They obviously must rate him as a coach. He must have something about. He must have shown to them that he's got something that he can offer, not just his history of playing with the club. So, yeah, I mean, I think as fans, you probably couldn't have had a better appointment. And it's not as if it's a job where it's sort of maybe the under-23s where it'd be a bit more pressure. This is probably the ideal sort of level for him, for Jack. And like he said, he's going to learn a lot and hopefully pass on some of his experience as well. It's a great appointment. It's a bit of feel-good factor, isn't it, with that as well?
Yeah. I think everyone loved it. I think they said when they announced it to the players, the older players, the younger players, the staff, everyone was smiling. Everyone was beaming, smiling. Like it was like they had a little taste of it before, and even when Jack came back just for training, there was that feel-good factor. There was that, Jack's back. Like he's trained with the youngsters, and he's probably pointing out some of the youngsters. I mean, Charlie Patino was one that when Jack Wilshere was training was pointed out, and I know that he personally pointed out and said, "Watch out for this kid." So he's definitely got an eye for talent as well.
Yeah.
Steve, Pierre Mertesacker said that Arsenal will do everything to make sure that Jack's a success. They're bend over backwards to make it a success. That's the kind of things that Jack needs to hear to give him the confidence going forward. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, when you've got someone like Per Mertesacker, a World Cup winner, sort of saying those words, and he's also there to help him because this is going to be all new to Jack. It's all going to be new to him, so he's going to need people around him at Arsenal as well to sort of help him along. As I say, it's his first time he's going to be doing something like this, so to have people like Per Mertesacker there and Mikel Arteta there, and all really round about his type of age, where I think it's important that he can associate with these people. It's important that he's played with Per Mertesacker, isn't he? As well, he's played with Mikel Arteta. I mean, one thing that's very important is like when you're coaching any type of football or in any type of place, is that you're comfortable in your surroundings, and you've got people around you who you're comfortable with. Now, Jack Wilshere's at Arsenal, which is, a tick straight away. And straight away, he's going into people there that he's known, that he's played with, that he knows the tea ladies, he knows everything. He's walking into his home, he's coming back home, and he's got everything there on his plate to be that success. Now, will he be a success? That's down to Jack. We don't know that. We can only sort of surmise from the way we've seen him play. I think he's grown up a lot, Kieran. I think he's needed to sort of have that. There was a few years ago when I used to think, Jack, you need to be doing things a little bit different. The newspapers are grabbing onto things that he did, which I thought was unfair at the time. But he had this kind of, personality where it was, just it needed to be, calmed down, and he's certainly done that. And to answer your question, it's fantastic, and to have these people around him. You've mentioned all those names, great names, fantastic football players that are at the club, and I can't wait. Like I've already said, and I think he'll be a success in coaching.
All right, let's quickly go to the comments before I ask Jerome his next question. Let's say, I like Jack being back. He can give a perfect advice as well. He's done it from all the youth to the first team. England, injuries, he brings more than just coaching. Yeah, 100% right. Stephen also went on to say, I Googled the best number 4 and Google said no. So there is no number 4. There's Almunia popped up. That's why. G Talks. Go make sure you go and follow G Talks and Cannon Talks as well. Fantastic appointment for the club and Jack, and it makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense. Jerome, anyone that's listened to Jack Wilshere, as you said, he was on the radio on TalkSport. It felt very much like he really wanted to come back to Arsenal on a playing term as well, with regards to, because he was asked many a time, why don't you sign for Arsenal? Why don't you just stay at Arsenal? And he said, Arteta obviously doesn't think I'm good enough. So that to me says that there was that he wanted to come back. Do you feel like that move to Denmark, it just didn't live up to what he was potentially trying to build up to get back to full fitness, and it wasn't Arsenal, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And
I think going away to Denmark and being at West Ham and Bournemouth and the other clubs that he's been at, I think it's a very good thing. I think it's made him realise like how sort of good it is to be at Arsenal, and I think he's really appreciative of this opportunity. And like he said in his small interview on the website, like I think he probably feels very honoured and privileged to be in this position. I mean, you've got coaches working probably their whole lives that would give their right arm to coach a youth team of Arsenal, especially with the likes of some of the players that we've had come through the system. And obviously that's something great to aim for, knowing that it's possible for him to not produce maybe, but to work with these players that hopefully will make the first team. I think that time away he's probably done it, like mentally, it's probably done him a world of good. And he probably can't wait to get started and working with the boys.
Do you know what I'm pleased about? He's had such a hard time, hasn't he? I mean, when was it you could say that's the result, Jack? You're doing this. I can't remember the last time we can turn around and say, you've had a run in the team. You're having a run. You're doing well. It just, you can't even remember. I mean, you think, he went to West Ham. You thought, he might be able to pick up his career there. It never happened. Bournemouth, it never happened. Then he's gone on and tried other places. It's just not ever happened. And I think that what this, like going to Denmark and what he's finally done is that he said to himself, I'm not a footballer no more. I've got to try something new. And Jerome's already said, what an opportunity now. He must feel blessed that Arsenal have come along and given this job. And but he deserves it. So good luck to him. Good luck to him. I mean, who give him the job? Who do you feel give him was it Arteta that gave him the job?
No, it's Mertesacker. Mertesacker's the one that's in charge of recruitment for the youth ranks.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because Kevin Betsy, he's gone to Crawley, isn't he? And he's done an excellent job. So what Per Mertesacker was kind of implying was that from when Jack was at Arsenal before and doing all the training, got his A badges, it seems very much like he'd earmarked him as a coach for the future, because he'd seen what he was like around the players. He saw it was like a coach, and he saw his enthusiasm, wanting to learn as a coach. And then it's like, even when he was in Denmark, that's when Per Mertesacker said he was having a chat with him. And like Jack, they were having conversations together, and I think, because he was asked the question on that recent interview, did you persuade Jack to retire? And he said, no, it wasn't like that. It was more like we were having conversations, we were having chats, and I just laid out what we can do at Arsenal, what we can do for you, how we can make sure that you have the best sort of learning and training on the job, and what you can bring to this crop of youngsters, considering all the experience you've had in coming through the ranks, injuries, England, things that have gone good, things that have gone bad, winning trophies, near misses, the lot. As Jerome said, if you're trying to build a prototype of a coach, yes, it's all good, all well and good having a coach that's from start to finish has done it all, won everything, and finished his career at the age of 45. But you do also need a coach that hasn't quite made it, missed out on things, but had a lot of bad things happen as well. Not all the best coaches were the best players, or even football players at all. So, it goes to show that.
One thing as well, Per Mertesacker don't get a lot wrong. No, he doesn't. He's an excellent. He's got an excellent eye for many things.
Yeah.
For things behind the scenes, for young players, for his mind is second to none. I can remember going back years and years and years ago when he was asked a question. I can remember it like I can see the interview now. And they said to him, someone said, "Who's the best player in the under in the youth at the moment? Who is it? Who's the one who's going to go on to be the new next Arsenal star?" And I remember it clear as day. And he said, "Saka. Watch him." And I was like, at the time, "Who's that? Who's Saka?" And there you go. So if Per says it, then it's fine by me, I think.
Yeah, Per knows best. Stephen says loads of players say that once they left Arsenal, they realise how good it is and how good the club look after you and love the game. And the love of the game isn't the same after leaving. Jack said himself, he wishes he never left Arsenal in the first place. He wishes he took that 1-year deal that they sniffed at when because he was just starting to get good form. He was getting a run in a team, and then he got called up to England again and got injured. So and that was at the time when they took the contract off the table. But just before that, his agent was coming out and saying Arsenal were offering Jack Wilshere a standard basic wage and a play per game contract, and they didn't want that. But go back now, he'd sign that. Wouldn't even look, just sign it, because like you said, once you leave, it's not the same. All right. It's time to get on to the next topic, which is William Saliba. He's gone out on loan, gained French caps, has won Young Player of the Year in France, and now he's coming back home. And it looks like he could potentially be signing a new deal. William Saliba's agent actually came out. William Saliba's agent, Niang Gijabril, uploaded an interesting video on Instagram. On his Instagram stories, which sparked excitement among Arsenal fan base who believed the contract talks had started between the two parties. Digibro's video showed the room in which the club announces all their contract extensions and new arrivals at London Colney training ground. Steve, William Saliba. It felt like there was a corner of Arsenal fans. It got very small in the end. That no matter what, we're trying to bash Mikel Arteta with the William Saliba hammer, and it's now surely it's gone. Surely it's gone. If we're talking about the only thing that anyone could moan about was the fact that he was on 2 years left, and Arsenal have to show him everything that they can, show him that he's going to be a first team player to make sure he stays. They're potentially talking about contract talks now.
Yeah,
Great work by Arsenal then.
It's. I mean, I'll put it into context here. When Saliba was, a couple of years ago before he went out to France, and he like you already said, he was getting all the stick, Arteta, and Arteta was this and Arteta was that. Saliba would have never. Saliba was probably about our third, fourth choice centre half, right? But Arteta knew what type of quality he had, and he knew he had to go out on loan. He went out on loan. Arsenal fans lost their minds, right? Not us, because we could see why he'd gone out on loan, and now he's going to be coming back. He's happy. He should be happy because of Arteta, right? Saliba is now sitting one of the most exciting centre-backs in Europe, and he's also plays for the France international squad. If we would have kept him, Arteta people who didn't think it was right for him what he'd do, if we would have kept him, we don't know. We could be selling him. He could be still sitting on the bench. He might be behind. Who knows? His quality might have shown through. We don't know. But the fact is, Arteta made the decision. And he knew the quality. He knew what would happen if he went on loan, and now he plays. Now he's a French international because of it. So, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this guy just to put on that shirt and run out at the Emirates, and and to finally put all this to rest, Kieran. Because he's just gone on too long now. Give him his number 2 shirt, his dream shirt. Apparently, this is the one he wants. Get him signed up on this contract. And let him push for one of those centre half positions, and I think he's in the international squad. He's made the France squad. So Gabriel's. I've seen him play on. I don't know if he can play right and left. I know he's more of a left, but I think he can play both. And I think they're both. I think he can easily get into that first team squad. And I'm sure that's what Arteta's told him. You're good enough now to come back. Sign a new contract. We want you to sign a new contract because you could be the next centre half of Arsenal, and that's what we want. We want competition. Gabriel should want competition. This is what we need. We need players in each position, and to have someone at the quality of William Saliba, who again I have to say, if it wasn't for Mikel Arteta making the decision in the first place, right? I don't think he'd be the player he was today. Yeah, I don't think he would be in that position today. So. Give him the number 2 shirt, sign him up the contract, and let's see him smash it next season.
All right. Jerome, this has got to be one of the most eagerly anticipated debuts of all time, really, isn't it? I feel like he's going to get a standing ovation, everything when he finally comes out and puts that shirt on.
Mate, his first game, how scrutinised is every move that he makes going to be? Every pass, I'm going to feel like the pressure for him, to be honest. Making sure that every
pass it to the right person.
Yeah, I'm going to feel pressure for him. But yeah, as some of the comments have said, and Steve said as well, he wouldn't be in the French squad if it wasn't for this move to Marseille. And with the French squad as well, I think in the last squad he kept out, or he's keeping out Konate of Liverpool. And Konate's a couple years older than him.
He's a quality player.
This Konate is decent. To be a centre back for Liverpool, you got to be seriously good. And yeah, we just all can't wait to see him. I mean, what 20-year-old centre backs are starting week in, week out for their teams in the Premier League? Hardly any. So he's 21. He's going to be playing a lot of football this year. Whatever competition it's going to be in, he's going to play a lot of minutes, and I think everyone is just super excited to see him play. And yeah, we need quality in depth at centre back, because because if one of our starting centre backs or one of our centre backs gets injured, then, you know, without wanting to speak badly, then we're down to holding. So yeah, we need 3 quality top draw centre backs, and hopefully he's the third one.
Yeah, definitely. Steve Mertesacker also added, he said that he feels that Saliba should be getting his chance, and he says he's shown enough while to earn that. He said what William done at Marseille is magnificent. So for us to really test him this summer and see what suits him best, what's best for him. But he's clearly made his mark at his young age with playing in a major league in Europe and being one of the best players there. So why not use him? Yeah, it's a fair point, surely.
It's a very fair point. And if anybody knows a centre half, then Per Mertesacker does, right? Yeah. So again, like I said before, you know, I do take on board anything sort of people like Mikel Arteta, what they say, because 9 times out of 10 they're right. And every time Per Mertesacker seems to say something, he talks sense. Now, he knows the centre half, so him saying that is fantastic. And again, for William Saliba to hear that from him must build him up as well. So that's going to help him as well. You know, that's going to help him. He's coming from the French league. I don't really hear all this about it. Oh, it's a farmers' league. I've already seen in the comment there he's a Rolls-Royce defender. And Rolls-Royce defenders can play in any league. You know, they're a certain kind of defender. They can play in the French league, they can play in the Italian league, they can play in the Spanish league, they can play in the Premiership. He reminds me of a young Rio Ferdinand. Yeah, I know that might be a little bit, you know, I'm not saying he's Rio Ferdinand now, nowhere near it, but he's that type of defender. And that can only be exciting for Arsenal, especially the way they play, the way they would love to play it out from the back. He fits in there beautifully, and he's a good word, a Rolls Royce. And you know, you talk about players like Varane, and I can see him being that type of defender, you know, in a few years' time. I think I said it a few weeks ago. It's like I think like Gabriel, Wyatt, wherever side he plays, I think they've got something seriously to worry about. And hopefully it pushes them on to some kind of new heights. You know, this is what we want. Like Jerome already said, competition, fighting for competitions. I mean, again, you look at Man City, the centre backs there, they're all quality. Laporta, Stones, you know, Diaz, you know, they've had Aki there, you know, and Arteta's been there, and he's building this into the same thing. He wants top quality centre halves, and you know, with Holding and Saliba and White and Gabriel, we're doing the same thing. So yeah, Per Mertesacker, I mean, you know, what a role model to have, or someone to learn from as well. Because look, let's face it, Per Mertesacker was quality. You know, he was top centre back. He got some stick for Arsenal, you know, because of his pace and stuff. But he was top draw. Great for him, and someone fantastic to learn off of.
Yeah, he got stick for Arsenal, but for someone so slow, he didn't really get outpaced much because his positioning was excellent.
Well, do you remember the cup final? Do you remember the cup final, mate?
Yeah, but we learned very quickly that Per Mertesacker was very slow and turned like a bus, but he was always in the right place. So it wasn't the case of he was getting outpaced. It just jockey, stick out a leg, the ball's gone. Yeah, he was an excellent defender.
Very intelligent.
Very intelligent. It's one of them players that once he's not playing, you realise how good he actually is. GT Arsenal says masterstroke by Mikel Arteta for loaning him out. Exactly what the loan system is for, returning a better player and in contention for a first team place. And I'm saying again, at the time it made sense. The geezer was young, had an experience of bereavement. Loaning him out in the familiar surroundings is what he needed at the time. He makes a good point there, Jerome, because many people would have said that loaning him out to a Premiership team, Premier League team, sorry. Newcastle were apparently interested, but Saliba didn't want to go there. it made sense with all of it that happened coming together.
Yeah, exactly what G Talk says. Yeah, he'd have been very comfortable there, playing with some players that that he's familiar with as well. And he basically pretty much played every minute as well, didn't he? Like maybe in the Premier League, there might have been a bit more pressure on him, and a couple of dodgy games, perhaps he could have been out of the team. And then that's not what's best for Arsenal. Best for Arsenal is go out and play. And so there might have been more chance they thought of, right, let's send him out to France. We know that he's going to play every week, and it'll be better for us in the long term. And but going back to Per Mertesacker's comments, when I don't think he was so unequivocally strong on Saliba, because he sort of said, we'll see what's best for him. He didn't say, yeah, he's coming to compete for a first team place. It was just like, we'll sort of see what's best for him, and that sort of implied to me that there could be a few options there for him in terms of maybe something, maybe playing for another club, but hopefully that's not the case. But his comments I thought they were a bit open-ended, to be honest.
I've taken it in a different way. I see it that I think, especially I think the interviewer initially made a joke about Saliba playing for the under-23s because he's still of age, and Mertesacker was like basically saying it's not my decision there, but then went on to say that he's done so much so in France that he deserves to give a chance. So, which I think is a fair point. So we will see. And there's a lot of hype, a lot of pressure on the kid, and let's just hope he takes it in his stride, and he's patient as well. Because what I don't think we need is a young kid that feels that, yes, he's gone over to France, won a load of awards, been player of the year, get on into the French squad. Like, it's a different league now. Now, forget levels. It's a different league. Pace, strength. It's completely different. It's not as technical as the French league. So it's completely different. So I think we need to be patient. He needs to be patient. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him, and I know a lot of other people out there are also looking forward to seeing him. So I did speak about earlier. We'll brush over it quickly. Ian Wright versus Alan Sugar. Ian Wright calls out Alan Sugar for claiming the women's game is sexist against men. Alan Sugar went on to say last night that basically there's no men in the women's game commentating, and then the following game, Ian Wright was commentating, and he said that basically it was his tweet that prompted the BBC to get Ian Wright in and commentate on the game. Absolute nonsense. Ian Wright has called out Alan Sugar and said that, yeah, forget about the year's planning. Yeah, it was all your tweet, Alan, that made the BBC say, Ian, come back from Germany now. We need you for this game. So, yeah, basically,
Ian Wright fired.
Yeah, Ian Wright, well, Alan Sugar's fired because he's talking absolute nonsense. Ian Wright's called him out for having a big ego. He says he needs a big cuddle. But he's glad that people like Alan Sugar are actually watching the women's game, because they could be picking holes in it and saying it's rubbish and saying this and that, but they're not. They're pointing out that there's no men in the commentary, so then at least they're not saying anything bad about the level of the game. So yeah, interesting.
Big up to Ian Wright. Big shout
out to Ian Wright, and a big shout out to the England women's football team that won 8-0 against Norway yesterday, and Norwegian team has a former Ballon d'Or player in it. But Beth Mead, Arsenal player, got a hat trick. She actually smashed it last night. I have to say, she did actually smash it. Another thing I want to get onto, I didn't speak about it last week, was Thomas Partey. A lot of assumptions were made last week that Thomas Partey was part of this police investigation. Look, even if he was, the some of the stuff that was coming out on social media is absolutely disgusting. We're talking about someone who's potentially been accused of rape, and people throwing in names like Thomas Partey and saying things, even implying that if he done it, this and that, if this, like, you shouldn't even be throwing the geezer's name in there, because things like that, don't wash off. They don't. Ched Evans, the geezer's got done, went to prison for it, then got cleared, and he will still always have it on his name. Always. These, whatever happens, it just doesn't go, because there's always that did they, didn't they, is it, isn't it? Just be careful when you're talking about these things, people, because now Thomas Partey's back in Arsenal training, which is good, and it seems like there's nothing that come off it so far. So yeah, just be mindful when it comes to serious allegations. Don't just go throwing around people's names like that, because like I said, those things don't wash off.
Yeah, especially when you don't know what you're talking about in the first place.
Exactly.
You know, if you've got some kind of, you know, because at the end of the day, you don't, these people that were out there saying whatever they were saying, personally, you know, accusations like that, I don't really take too much notice of unless something, you know, comes up more substantial. To me, I just looked at it as rumours. There was nothing really strong out there about it. Not really. You know, the only people that were saying things were people on social media. And at the end of the day, those people knew nothing. They didn't know what they was talking about. They were just deciding to make things up, and sadly thought it was funny to bring someone's private life up and something as serious as this, which was turned out to be like a false accusation. You know, I think they should realise you know, disrespect. Thomas Partey is a human being. I'm sure those people that were saying these things, if it was their brother or if it was their sister, I'm sure they'd be the first people to be moaning and complaining about it. So yeah, I agree totally with what you said. People should think twice, and hopefully those people that did it will do next time.
All right. Let's move on. Transfer time. Steve, a lot of people have been going crazy right now. We've got names flying all over the place. Certain journalists are saying Arsenal are preparing moves, preparing bids. Personally, I'm not hearing anything new or substantial or solid. But let's get down to some of the names that are going about. Obviously, we start off with Alex Grimaldo, a player who it seems like Arsenal are keeping tabs on and could potentially even make a move for now, because the Lisandro Martinez one is dying down a bit. Yeah.
A lot of the players that are being mentioned now were second options for Arsenal, which ain't a bad thing. I mean, some people go, "Oh, our first option we didn't get. Now we're going for the second best." Nothing like that at all. You've just mentioned Lisandro Martinez. Now, Ajax are asking there for €60 million. I know for a fact that Arsenal has said you can go and stick your €60 million right up where the sun don't shines. Right? They Arsenal will not go there. I don't think he's worth €60 million. I don't think anybody else thinks he's worth €60 million, apart from maybe Manchester United, who I think still are trying to get the deal down. But as far as Lisandro Martinez goes, sorry to sort of come away, but I think he needs to be mentioned before we go on to sort of Grimaldo. It looks like now was being brought into play as a left back, which I think Jerome mentioned last week, which makes all the perfect sense in the world, because we have got Saliba, we've got Holding, we've got Gabriel was white, so it was always looking like he was going to be the left back. Our second option was so at the moment we've pulled out the Martinez deal, from what I've been told. Yeah, unless for some reason Martinez comes out of the blue and turns around and said, "Well, no, Arsenal is my first choice. I want to go to Arsenal." Then Arsenal can negotiate a price, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Arsenal ain't got no intentions. Arsenal put a bid in for 43 million, and that hasn't changed. And they really had no intentions of it changing. Now they've gone on to Grimaldo, who's a top class player, left back. They have had talks. They are talking. It's very early stages. He was the second option for in the left back position. Martinez was first. He is the cheaper option, but from what I hear, and he's a player, and this guy's a good player. I've checked him out. I've had a look at him. I even, we've even got friends of the show who knows the player personally. So, we've been promised we might be even get an interview with a guy if and when he signs. So, yeah, that's a goer. It's one to look out for. But the Martinez one's looking more and more, that it looks like it's not going to happen.
All right.
Not at that price anyway. Not at that price anyway. Not 60 million euros.
Cool. Jerome, we'll get you to have a little look at Alex Grimaldo, but I know you've looked at Lisandro Martinez. Do you feel that 60 million was too much that they're asking for?
If he's going to be back up to Tierney, then yeah, I think it's too much. If they're going to get rid of Tierney, then you'd probably get most of that back from Tierney anyway. So, I don't think you can spend 60 million on your backup.
Do you know what, though?
Even though he'd probably play a lot of football.
Yeah, sorry, but what would we get for Tierney now, though, Jerome? We're saying we get a lot for him, but would we get 25 million for him now with his injury record?
Yeah, I think easy.
I think you could get double that.
Yeah, I think you'd get 40 million for Kieran Tierney, because I think clubs like Leicester, I think clubs like Newcastle would pay premium for those players.
Yeah. I still think I'm still hoping it will become good. I feel, hopefully he's got this is his bad time of being injuries, and he'll be injury free for next season. So
Kieran Tierney needs to live in an ice chamber. He needs to live in the ice chamber, play the games, go training, and then go back and live in the ice chamber.
What you need to not do is wear shorts in the middle of winter when it's snowing, like flipping hard, man. I'd rather be soft Sally, wearing gloves and tracksuits and scarves and snoods and hats, and not get injured all season, and be the hard man that wears throwing snowballs with shorter shorts than Stuart Pearce. Like you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Like, it's just silly. Like, if we're being serious, we're talking about injuries. Those things will get you injured. Like, just stop it, Kieran. You don't need to prove anything, mate. You don't need to prove anything. All right. Next up on our list. I know, I can see the comment section. So I might make you wait. In fact, I'm going to make you wait. Next one. Steve. This one, I
want to see more likes before we say what we want to say.
I want to see 10 more likes to go on to Lucas Borchetta. All right, Steve. Before we go on to Lucas, one we can get through pretty quick. N'Golo Kante. Where did that rumor come from?
It was never a thing, mate. It was never a goer. He's not going to, as far as I know, he's going to be staying at Chelsea for another season, and never. I can't say no more than it's never been a serious something that Arsenal have looked at. I've spoken to a lot of people, and it's never came up in conversation. Apart from silly publications and poor accounts, if you like. So, no, it's just one of them ones that everyone now and again just sticks in the transfer window. They know Arsenal are looking for a midfield player. They know Kante now and then don't ever play for Chelsea, so they just think, let's whack him in. Arsenal, he's not the type of midfield player Arsenal are looking for. Mm-hmm. They're looking for someone a little bit more versatile, a little bit more better on the ball, maybe more attacking wise, more of a number 8. I wouldn't put Kante as a number 8. He's not a number 8 for me. And that's what Arsenal are looking for. So as soon as I heard the name, it was sort of, I'd take him. I wouldn't say no if it came up and they said, well, Arsenal bought him. But no, never been a true option up to yet anyway. Not from what I know.
See, G-Talks wants that Lucas Borchetta news. Don't worry, it's coming. Jerome, first of all, would you take N'Golo Kante at Arsenal?
I think amazing player, but probably 5 years too late. I think we're beyond that stage now of signing players that are 31, 32. Although he is top draw. Not reluctantly. I'd say no, but the most reluctant you could get, basically.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just for me. Yeah, it's like 2 years too late. It's just I'd take him at 30, but 32, he's going to be on big wages. It'll be one of them ones in 2 years' time. You've still got him for another 2 seasons, and it's like can't get him off the books. But he's a nice guy. But no, not today. Let's go because G Talks has been good to us. Lucas Porchetta from Lyon, Steve. 68
well, Spurs
million
have just signed him for 30 million.
That would be very Arsenal. Quoted 68 million. Someone else buys it for 30.
Yeah. Lucas Paqueta, Brazilian, another Brazilian, 24 years old. There's not much. Arsenal ain't way ahead in big advanced talks yet with either the club or the player. I mean, Arsenal, we've put a tweet out today. Arsenal have made contact with Lyon over the signing of the guy, and Edu's gone out and he's spoken to the Lyon president and the players' representatives, and as I can tell you, there's not been any bids as of yet. The agent of Paqueta and Gabriel Uram, he has said quite openly is that he's expecting a bid from Arsenal very soon in coming days. Arsenal have watched this guy for a long time now. This ain't something that's just come up in the last few weeks. He has been watched, and he is a big target for Edu and Arteta. Edu. This is an Edu signing. He's the one that wants to bring him in. And yes, he is the second option. He's the second option from Rafinha. Yeah. Arsenal have got £65 million that they want to spend on a top signing this summer. It's sitting there. It's waiting. Now, Arsenal don't think he's worth the 65 million that the Lyon president, Jean-Claude Allis, is putting out there. Arsenal feel what I've been told earlier today is that he's worth 50 million. So when the bid out, I'm expecting that will be the bid that will go in. We've got everybody on it. We've got the top Arsenal transfer guys on it, helping us on this. So as soon as we know anything more, we'll let you know. But one thing I would really, I've in my DMs today and on my Twitter page, and I'll say it now because I haven't answered you in the DMs. I do apologise at that, but he is not a Tielemans replacement. He is not a replacement for Tielemans. They are two totally different players. He is the second option for Rafinha. They wanted him, right? Arsenal pulled out Rafinha because they didn't want to get into a bidding war, Rafinha. So they let that go. This is the guy next, Paqueta. He's the guy that Arsenal want to go for next. So not a replacement for Tielemans. Tielemans is a separate entity. Tielemans is a number 8. So yeah, and that one's still going on. There was talks last week. There was second talks. As I said to you last week, that's still ongoing. There's not much more to talk about. The only thing that there is got to be sorted out is the fee between Arsenal and Leicester. So everything else, as far as that signing is done and dusted, right? But it's the fee. They can still keep him there for another year. But Tielemans is pushing, Arsenal's pushing, and hopefully in the next week or so we'll know more.
All right. Do you know what, Sarah Diff? You brought up this point, yeah. Could I just say something, yeah? When someone writes a tweet, yeah, read it, and read it again. Because I can tell you now, I know what tweet you're talking about. And it's the same tweet that they were talking about the other day. Fabrizio is not hiding anything. What are you talking about? Fabrizio would not hide a transfer. I will tell you that now. I am telling you this. Fabrizio is hiding nothing. He said, I've heard some news that Arsenal are looking at another player, but I will not reveal it until I'm sure who the player is, meaning he needs to go to his contacts, double check to see if that's really a player that Arsenal are after before he puts it out to 6.8 million followers and says Arsenal look at this player and then looks like a fool. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. That's why you'll get accounts, yeah, who are legitimate accounts who may know something, yeah, but they're taking the risk of dropping the news earlier. And that's what you got to do when you start. When you start off in this, you have to drop news earlier because you got to come out, you got to be the first. But then it's a bit risky because things change in transfers. It always changes. So as you get on, as you get more experience, as you get more contact, you can hear news, then you go to your contacts. You reach out to them, heard anything. Yeah, nice. Yeah, no, it's legit. Sweet, it's legit. This is what I'm saying. That's exactly what Fabrizio was doing. And he said it to you. He said, I've heard some rumours. I've heard that Arsenal are after a player. I won't reveal who it is until it's confirmed. That's it. There's no secrets, people. There's no secrets. All right? And I'll tell you why. Because if Fabrizio Romano holds back a secret and then some other person comes out, then he's lost out on how many likes and however many what. Yeah? Read the tweets, people. Oh, the amount of tweets that go out or a video that goes out and then people come up to me and says, you said. I said, the video's still up. The tweet's still out there. Nothing has been changed. So please, people, read it, and read it again. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, next up, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Steve. It's one that's not, since you said last time, he's the second option, it's purely an inquiry. Still, people aren't letting it go. They're not letting it go. It's like they want this player. It's a bit like it feels like a James Maddison again. They've heard that Arsenal have inquired. Now they want this player, and now it's like Arsenal have to get this player. And if they don't, and someone else gets him, Arsenal are in the mud. Get rid of Etu. Get rid of Arteta.
Yeah.
What is this? Is it still at the same stage? Just inquiry.
Just inquiry, mate. You know, the Lazio want 75 million for him. I mean, come on. He's doing the rounds, this fella. He's doing the rounds. Last week it was, the week before it was, it was Man United that he wanted him and they was going to sign from him. The following before that, it was Liverpool, and then it was Arsenal. And today I've seen AC Milan. What does this tell you? As you said, if you learn in this game and you've been in it long enough now, you know what this is. This is the agent. This is the agent putting out ridiculous fees like for 70 odd million. And then telling everybody that all the top clubs in Europe want him. Yeah, nobody wants him. He'll probably end up staying at Lazio, or the guy will probably leave Lazio for something like 20 million. It's the way it always goes. This is agents' work. I've been told this is agents' work. That is just someone who's being put about. Arsenal, there's never been any interest from Arsenal. Just as there wasn't any interest from Manchester United and there wasn't any interest from Liverpool. This is the agent. This is the agent's trying to, get him a good deal because he knows that these players were looking for midfielders, especially like Manchester United and Arsenal. So they just whack their names on. So there's nothing to add on that. For you Savic fans, I'm not going to make something up just to make you feel good. So sorry about that.
All right. And Yuri Tillemans, you spoke on it, but just to give it a little refresh to anyone out there.
Yeah, no change on Yuri Tillemans. As we've already said, Arsenal have been in talks with Leicester for over a year now. So there's, again, without feeling like being guilty of repeating myself, there's nothing else to talk about there. It's all of that, down to the fee. Arsenal. Look, one thing that I keep seeing is that the Arsenal have never put a bid in, and there's been no prices talked about. Yeah, absolute rubbish. You don't talk to a year to a club, right, without talking about a price. I've been told that a price of 25 million. We put it out. I put it out because I was confident from the source that it's a good source. So I was totally confident in saying that there'd been a bid when everyone else was saying that there wasn't been a bid. We've been in talks from every year. Last week they sort of surfaced talks after people were saying it was cool because they bought Vieira. Rubbish, different type of players. Arsenal looking for a number 8. This is still ongoing. All down to the fee. It's all down for Arsenal and the fee. Tielemans wants to leave. It's coming up to the last year of his contract. If they don't sell him now, it goes to nothing. And they keep an unhappy player at the club. So sometimes you've got to use your own head, use your detective work as well in these situations. And yeah, this is still ongoing. We'll keep you updated.
All right. We have time for. Thank you everyone in the comments section tonight. Absolutely buzzing in there. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button. Appreciate all the support. If you are new to the show, press that subscribe button. If you are a regular, press that like button, press the share button, and just press copy. You don't have to share it to any of your pages. Just press copy, and that does the job as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, pleasure.
All right, and thank you very much for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Yeah, of course, pleasure. Cheers.
And we'll get Jerome to do an Alex Grimaldo player profile next week. And if you've got any other players that Arsenal will be linked with that you want to know what our opinion is, just drop it in the comment section or drop Jerome a message. This one, get Gnabry done. Gnabry, I don't know. Again, another transfer which it's just the Arsenal fans. It's just the Arsenal fans that are making this transfer. Like, there's nothing in it. Absolutely nothing.
They're talking about a new contract at the minute, trying to get him to sign a new contract.
Yeah. So there's nothing in the Gnabry news. Like, it's literally just Arsenal fans wanting it to happen, and because that, then the papers will start writing about it because they know they're going to get clicked and people are going to buy the newspaper. So there's nothing in Gnabry. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Of course. Cheers.
All right. And the comment section, of course. Peace out, people. Stay safe. And wash your hands.